Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. I hope you all had a wonderful Yontif, a meaningful Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah. We're very blessed. In Parshas Bireishis, the Torah begins, Bireishis Bar Elokim, in the beginning of the creation, of God's creation of the heavens and the earth. And Rashi tells us this word Bireishis is a very unique and strange word. Bireishis, the beginning of. Doesn't say Bereshina at first. And it could have just said, Vayivra Elokim, and God created. Not indicating whether this was the order, this was the first, the last, it doesn't matter. Torah starts with Bireishis, and Rashi brings a medrash. Medrash says that we find the word Reishis, which means first, in reference to God's Torah and to Klal Yisrael. There's a verse that God's Torah is the Reishis, the first, and Klal Yisrael is the first. What does this mean? So Rashi says Bireishis is a contraction of Bishvil Reishis, for that which is the first. The Reishis, God created the universe. For his Torah, for Klal Yisrael, who would receive and observe his Torah, God created the entire universe. This is Rashi's commentary, beautiful drasha. Ramban quotes from a medrash in which we find that there are many other things that are also referred to as Reishis, and indeed the medrash says challah, removing the challah portion from the dough, is called Reishis. Meiser, taking off the tithe, is called Reishis. Bikurim, the first fruits, is called Reishis. And all of these things are included over here in this word Reishis, and yet Rashi doesn't bring that, which would seem to suggest that Rashi is trying to convey to us a commentary, not just a drasha. Like Rashi always says, he's not here to give us the drushes. He's here to help us understand the meaning. And yet Rashi is compelled to present the drasha of Bireishis. For Israel and Torah, God created the world. What is Rashi trying to explain with this? In the Talmud and Tractate Megillah, it says that King Talmai had the Jews translate the Torah into Greek. He wanted to know the Torah. Until that point, the Torah was limited to just those who were familiar with the Hebrew, and they had the tradition, what was handed down. A miracle occurred in which these 70 sages who were put all into separate chambers, they all had the same problem and said, if we're going to translate verbatim, literally, the Torah to Talmai, he might say, what kind of a religion, what kind of people are you? In the beginning of creation, God made the heavens and earth. God's name is found third, it's placed third. Shouldn't it be stated that God created in the beginning? God's name should be first. He is the creator. So indeed, in the translation, they presented God's name being first. But the question still stands. Why is it that we say Bireishis, the beginning of, bara, creation, Elokim, God? Why is it phrased like that? So the commentaries explain and say, because if the Torah would start with the name Elokim, bara Bireishis, God created in the beginning, we wouldn't know what is God, who is God. Even now, after we have the Torah, it is beyond human comprehension to perceive the essence of God. If it would say God, Elokim, who, what is this? We have no idea what you're talking about. Therefore, first it precedes bara Elokim, created by God, creation. You want to know about God? You want to know what we mean when we say Elokim, God? Look at the world and the universe that's created. Look at the incredible, remarkable perfection. Look at the network. Look at the harmony. Look at the rain cycle, how the water evaporates and it rises and it's absorbed and it forms in clouds, and then it cools and it freezes and it comes down and we have precipitation. It's remarkable. Look at all of the chemical changes. Study the science, the biology, the chemistry, the physics. Study all of this and recognize that there is a magnificent hand that is directing all of this. Look at one organ in the human body. Look at the tongue, in which it has millions of cells working in perfect harmony so that we can taste sweets, we can taste salt, we can taste sharp foods. Look how we can swallow and digest and have a system that distributes the nutrition. It separates the waste and distributes the nutrition, and it's absolutely remarkable. And when we look at this, we say this is the most magnificent design and painting and portrait we've ever seen. There must be a designer. Didn't happen by itself. So if we want to get a glimpse of who and what is Elohim, God, so first it must be preceded by Bara. Bara Elohim, created by God. Look at creation. And now we see we're dealing with a creator who is so benevolent, who is so kind, who is so loving, who gives us the air to breathe, food coming out of the ground that we could eat, water surrounding us. Excuse me. It is absolutely amazing. We see the handwork of our Creator. We get a glimpse and a bit of an understanding into God. That's why the Torah specifically presents Bara prior to the name of God. But yet the question begs to be asked, why is Bereishis the first word? Let it say, Bara Elohim Bereishis, created by God in the beginning. Why does it have to say in the beginning of God, of the creation of God? Why do we need this word to begin? Why should that be the very first word? The Kliyokar expounds and he tells us, without Bereishis, without this word Bereishis, as Rashi tells us, and I like to suggest this is exactly what Rashi's coming to say. Rashi's not coming to give us a drasha that the word Bereishis, oh, how beautiful. For Torah and for the Klal Yisrael, God created the universe. It's not a beautiful drasha. Rashi's coming to answer this question. Rashi is coming to explain, do you know why the Torah begins with the word Bereishis? Why that should precede the name of God and creation? Because without Torah and without Klal Yisrael, we wouldn't even know what we're looking at in the creation and the Creator. We have so many who are so well-versed, professors, intelligent individuals, and yet they look at the world and they'll be agnostic. And there is no God, or God has nothing to do with it. He's not interested in whatever. And this God is not benevolent, and the whole thing was maybe just an exercise in ability. They don't see a benevolent, kind, supervising, involved God. Well, we don't understand, and why is this and why is that? Look at the universe, look at creation. Well, there was the Big Bang, and there might have been this, and there might have been that, and we have all types of theories to try to explain the obvious. So therefore, if the Torah would say creation by God in the beginning, creation, what do we see from creation? What do I see? I see that there was some, explosion a gazillion years ago, and this happened and that happened, and everything is by chance. Maybe there is no God. Who knows? Therefore, they don't even know what they're looking at. And that's why the Torah begins Bereishis, and that's what Rashi's coming to say. Because of Torah, and Klal Yisrael. It is only when we have Torah and we have those who utilize the ability to study, observe the Torah, then with the proper Torah knowledge, we can look at the canvas of the universe and see the magnificence, see the excellence, see the brilliance, see the handwork of our Father, our King, see the existence of God. But without Torah and without God's teachers of Torah, Klal Yisrael, there could be a universe and it could be nothing more than just an excuse for the pursuit of human passion. And that's why the Torah begins Bereishis. It is through God's Torah and Klal Yisrael that Bora, we see a creation, and Elokim, and we see the existence of God. And that is not only the explanation of the first verse, therein lies the description of the mission of humanity, which is discover, realize, see the existence of our Creator. Does it mean that we will understand his ways? Of course not. We can't understand simple things in our lives. We know how to turn on a television. We know how to turn on our computer. Do we know how it works? Some do. Most of us haven't got a clue. But we know that there are designers of that intricate network that we call the computer, the internet. Didn't happen by itself. And certainly our universe didn't happen by itself. This is not only telling us what happened, it's telling us why we exist. We exist to see and recognize and cling to the Creator, the kind, benevolent, loving Creator who has bestowed upon us all that we need to achieve happiness and success in this world and the world to come. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.